Hi, welcome to my channel, Lex to O, and it's a beautiful fall day and it's not very cool outside, which is unfortunate. However, I wanted to share with you some fragrances from YSL that I've been trying and a couple that I've actually purchased. And there is one on the list that wasn't quite a hit with me, but it could be with you. The first one is YSL's Muse. And the way they describe it is an inky, earthy fragrance that's unisex and leans feminine. And that does sound kind of odd because you don't usually hear of an ink note in fragrances. This is for fall and winter, in my opinion. And you can find this readily available at department stores, so you can probably get your nose on it. For instance, this came from Nordstrom's, so I bought it during their sale, so it ended up being a pretty good price in my opinion. The fragrance family that this is from is earthy, smoky, and woody. You have notes of the lavender and the incense in here, heart notes of iris, orris concrete, ambrette absolute, vanilla bean absolute, and then in the base we have an ink accord. Ambery wood accord as well. I'll be honest, I wasn't sure what ink would be like in a fragrance, and I can't exactly pinpoint ink in here. However, I can tell you, I really like this one. It's not for everyone, and it's certainly not blind buy safe. I find this to be kind of a dusky, dark, slightly smoky, and very aromatic fragrance with the lavender and clary sage. I know we see those two notes a lot in masculine fragrances, but I love those two notes, lavender and clary sage. On me, the orris concrete gives a powdery, very smooth, buttery quality to the fragrance. The ambrette absolute and vanilla bourbon absolute is a little sweet, but not too sweet. It's a very unique fragrance. And the first blast, I would say, is not that pleasant. I wasn't sure what to think about it. You have to have some patience and may require someone with some maturity. It does require not overspraying. I do not think this is friendly on everybody's skin. It is appealing to me, and for me it's a winner. The musky magic happens in Muse. Boy, that's a lot of M's. Musky magic Muse happens in the dry down. So give it about 30 minutes, and if it works for you, it could be a love. It would need to be sprayed on the skin rather than a tester strip, in my opinion. This interacts very well with my body chemistry. It's a long-lasting, a very complex scent for, I'd say, a confident type of person. My husband really disliked this one. His word for the scent to describe it was weird. I have 3 words, and they are smoky, dusty, and mysterious. Lovely fragrance, in my opinion. Babycat is the next fragrance. I don't have the bottle in front of me, but what I can say about that is that I've heard a lot about Babycat over the last couple of years. I blind bought it, and I cannot say it's safe for even a vanilla lover. However, after smelling so many vanillas, I can get the appeal. This isn't very sweet. The saffron in Babycat is warm with smokiness that is further enhanced by incense. There is a little suede quality to it and a rich vanilla. If you want to sweeten it up a bit, you could even layer it with Kayali Vanilla 28 or even Indult's Tejote. And I think it would be a real dream when you add a little bit more sweetness to it if you're not into the incensey type of vanillas. I find it very appealing. I like Babycat, so I find it to be very pleasant. This can be worn as a unisex fragrance in much cooler weather. The lasting power is really good, and the sillage could be overwhelming, so you may want to mind your sprays. Easy one to select for a date night or a special evening out. That's Babycat by YSL. 3 words for the fragrance would be dark, incensey, and different. The next fragrance I did not bring home with me, and I did not really enjoy it. It is Tuxedo, and it's called Sharp Patchouli. And from what I understand, it's different than the original Tuxedo, which I've heard good things about. And I won't go into too many details because I feel like this one is definitely more masculine from sniffing it at the department store and trying it on my skin. I do not like this at all, even for men. It's too sharp and earthy. The previous Tuxedo, I think, was much, much more pleasant. I can't give much else for a description, so that's all I'll say about it. You may find that it interacts very well with your body chemistry. The next fragrance is Caban. I believe that's how you say it. And you have it once again in the sleeve that comes off. The box is very similar. This is just from Muse, and this is from Caban. This is the bottle. Very minimalistic design. I think it's quite lovely. I kind of like to see these on a shelf in my closet. I think it's quite pretty. This is the stuff I think Tonka Dreams and Almond Dreams are made of. Top notes have pink pepper oil, black pepper oil, elemi oil. In the middle you have olibanum, a resinoid, and osmanthus. In the base you have sandalwood oil, tonka bean, patchouli heart. On YSL's website, it mentions caramel, hay, and tobacco facets. I find this deep, warm, and slightly dark, making it a real jewel for the fall, winter, and even the spring. This reminds me of everything I love in the fall. Walking in the mountain leaves that crunch beneath your feet, and the leaves that are colorful and flutter down in front of us. It's like a kaleidoscope of colors when we're heading back to a cabin. The opening is spicy with pink pepper oil, black pepper oil, which I don't always enjoy. I find black pepper to be very distasteful at times on my skin. However, in here, I think it is very well done. And it also has elemi oil. The tobacco is not on display too much, and my husband did not care for this that much, and I think it might be the tobacco note because he doesn't seem to like that, even when it's just like a light dusting of what I would picture as blonde tobacco flecks. So I think that's why he didn't like it. The patchouli is not too earthy in here, with just a little bit of sweetness that comes across almost balsamic on my skin. I love the delicious, woody, spicy aroma that is moderate lasting. It may prove to be longer lasting on your skin. 3 words for Caban, not sure how you pronounce it, would be comforting, elegant, and understated. And I must show you the diffusive sprayer on YSL's fragrances. Isn't that lovely? And I just think this is a delightful fragrance. So if you want to add one of these to your collection, I think you'd have a hard time going wrong. Well, you could have a hard time with Muse. Keep in mind, Babycat is more incensey and dark to me, and the Tuxedo with a sharp patchouli is definitely a sharp patchouli and not appealing to me. Caban is a lovely fragrance, and I would say out of them all, this would be my number 1, although it's closely tied with Muse. And Muse also has a diffusive sprayer, even though it's a small bottle. And it's very different in the beginning, and I can pick up on a slight, odd type of note to it, which is kind of dusty. Kind of like you're walking in a library and you get the smell of the old books that actually had ink on paper. So there's something to be said for that, and there's certainly a lot of comfort in that for me. I love libraries, and I love the older book section as well. And this is what it reminds me of, is opening up one of those old books, maybe even in an antique bookstore. But beautiful fragrance to me. Caban is lovely, Babycat is good, and I hope you'll get a chance to try these. This is from their collection. I think it's called La Vestiaires. I think that's how you pronounce it. And they have quite a few that I'd love to get my nose on and try. One is blouse, one is called jumpsuit, so it's rather different names. I wonder if the contents of those bottles somehow fit with the name of the fragrances. Thank you so much for joining me. I would love to know if you have tried YSL fragrances in this line and what you think about it and what suggestions would you have for me. And I would love to interact with you in comments. Please like, share, and subscribe. And I will look forward to seeing you in my next fragrance video, my fragrance friends. And in the meantime, please keep smelling divine. Thank you. Goodbye.